Hey everyone, your designers are here. I'm Anita at Cedar Hill Farmhouse.
And I'm Yvonne at Stone Gable.
And I'm Kelly at My Soulful Home.
We've got tips and tricks and decorating advice for you today, so let's get started.
Today is episode 185, and we are addressing listener questions because we have so many listener questions, and we didn't get to answer everyone's recently when we did a listener question episode. So we thought we wouldn't make you wait too long because some people want to get rolling with their decorating projects, and they need a little input from the DTT team. So we are here for you. And since we had the last listener question episode, we've gotten more questions. So please trust us. If you sent us a question, you're going to get an answer. You may have already gotten one via email or a brief one, or you've gotten information that we're going to talk about your question on the air today, which is April 4th. So if you don't hear your name or your question today, hang tight and we will be answering it soon in another listener question episode.
And it's not just for the people that write in. There's a lot of great decorating questions they ask, and people, other people listening, I'm sure have some of these same concerns.
Exactly. And you can apply that to your own home.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if you want to find any of the links or anything that we're talking about here, check out the show notes at decoratingtipsandtricks.com/185.
So today we're going to kick off our listener questions with Hillary H. Hillary wants to know, Santa, are sleigh beds out or are they in? And how about mahogany finish? And what if you have the combo sleigh bed in a mahogany finish?
Uh-huh.
What do? You don't want to paint your beautiful bed, but you're not even sure if you really want your sleigh bed. But how do you make it modern farmhouse and freshen it all up? And we're going to let Anita handle this question for Hillary.
Hi, Hillary. I think that's a great question. And I think that happens so much. We hear from somebody who has a piece of furniture that they're not so crazy about anymore, but they don't want to paint it and they don't want to get rid of it. And that's fine. There's a lot of things that you can do. Sleigh beds are not as hot as they were at one point. Think trends come and go, but they're certainly very nice to have. And I think they're still beautiful. So I think that's a great call to keep your sleigh bed. And the mahogany is not on trend right now, but you know how things go. I'm sure it'll be back on trend at some point. So yeah, I think we can definitely work with a sleigh bed that is mahogany. So what I would do is to try to work with what you have. So we can't disguise it. We're not going to paint it. So I think we need to work with it. And if you put white bedding on it. So really what we're talking about is bedding. That's the only thing left that we can do. But if you go with white bedding, it's going to really emphasize the fact that the color of the stain is very dark. So I would suggest going with darker linens. And I think that something that would give it a very fresh, today, now, on-trend look is to go with what we talk about all the time, and that is linen bedding. So you can get yourself some beautiful linen sheets. I would get some big Euro shams to put at the head. And then that way, that's going to cover up the mahogany back there. I don't know what size your bed is, but I definitely so if it's a king, you're probably going to want to get 3 Euro shams. If it's a queen, you can get 2. And then I would layer the Euro shams with some king pillows. And then maybe I'll do the long bolster pillow, especially in a beautiful velvet or linen. And then I would go with some darker a linen duvet and kind of that rumpled look, like you just got out of bed and, it's not, I wouldn't do the really neat tuck in and everything. And I'm going to link to my post that I did on this beautiful ruffled duvet cover because they've got an aquamarine that I think would be beautiful with that color. And I'm going to link it up for you. So you go look to the link I include. And I think these darker colors, the wood rose and the aquamarine, and I think there may be some gray and some other blues in there, would be freshen it up. And I think you'd be thrilled with it.
Oh, that sounds pretty. I like the aquamarine with the mahogany. That would be beautiful.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's definitely the way to go. The linens really can speak volumes about a fresh farmhouse look rather than emphasizing the bed.
Well, right. And the rumpled, I think it's kind of a casual, elegant look.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So Hillary, we got you covered. Now, Carol is going to be painting her front door. Yvonne's going to talk to Carol about her choices and what you do. Carol. So Yvonne, Carol wanted to know, she has a white and a black house. And so she can really go any color with that, combination outside. So the question is, do you do the door alone? Do you do the door and the side lights? And Carol also likes to leave the door open in nice weather. And she has a screen door, which sounds like in the email she's not a huge fan of. So you may even want to think about taking that off, Carol. But if she left the door open, picture that. So the door is open and then she's having a very neutral interior. So does she have to worry about the color of the door and how it's going to work with the inside, since her habit is to leave the door ajar and open in the nice weather? So we got a lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts here.
Well, first of all,
can handle it.
Hi, Carol. I'm so glad that you wrote in, and we can tackle this problem or this question because it's pretty easy. Your outside front door, you can paint either just the door and leave the skylights of the trim color of your house, or paint it white. And the trim color of our house, we have the same thing. We have a door with a transom at the top and skylights on the side. We chose just to paint the door, but you could also paint the whole entire thing. It gives, I think, a big presence all in one color. So you can go either way. You sort of have to play around with that. It just depends on let's say the color of your trim is something that you really don't like, then maybe I would.
Well, her trim is black.
Her trim around her windows and things are black.
Yeah. So her colors are white and black. Okay. So white siding, then black. I'm not sure if every window is the black.
I would think that maybe the side lights might be white, but so it just depends on what color you like and how it's going to work with your house. I like just the door painted, but that's such a personal opinion. So it can go either way.
I would agree with you.
Here's the big thing though. I think a front door should pop. I think you need a really nice pop of color there. And sometimes you could even get a little playful. And a little bird told me you like the Masters paint series for the outdoor.
Yeah, Modern
Masters for the outdoor door. And they have some great colors, but you don't need just to go with them. Most any other outdoor paint color for doors or even outdoor would work because, and I use a latex. But, also think about this, a black sort of shiny door with a little bit of a sheen to it would add a very classic look to your house. It's a little more dramatic. It's a little more monochromatic. But that would also be pretty. But for your house, and I don't know, I love that sort of limey green color, and with the black and the white, it would be gorgeous. And you asked another question. You do not have to match your door to the interior of your house. It's just going to be open and people just know that's your door. And you don't know if you're going to take the screen door off or not. Here's the things you have to ask yourself. When you have it open, does it really cool down your house? Do you have a cross breeze? And if you really do have a cross breeze, you might want to consider that, or maybe even buying, I don't know how new your glass doors are, but they have ones that are just basically the molding and it's all glass or all screen. So, you could really see your door inside that. But if it's something that doesn't give you a big cross breeze, you might want to consider taking it off because I think the windows do just as good of a job.
Good. Okay.
I hope I've answered your question.
Oh, yeah, I think so. My door is black on the outside, and it's the way they sprayed it on. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a patent leather.
I love that.
I love it. I didn't know they were doing it that way. And usually I'm a brush stroke girl, but I really love the way the black door looks. So that is definitely a fun.
Yeah, I'm thinking of painting ours exactly the same. It's a a mistake color. We were sort of going for a dark gray, charcoal gray, and it ended up being this great gray blue that is really beautiful. But we're ready for a change this spring and summer. And I'm thinking that patent leather black is just so striking, especially if you have a wreath or anything on it. It just shows up so well.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to jump in here with one now. Suzanne emailed us, and she was wondering about kid-friendly decor. So she says that it looks like IKEA and Toys R Us threw up in her house. So, that's, get that visual.
Been there, done that. We've all been there, done that.
She's got 3-year-old twins and a 5-year-old. So God bless you, Suzanne. Hey, I think IKEA is great for lots of things, but yes, I think when people default to IKEA because they're like, we have kids, or this is our first apartment, or whatever, then it looks like, you're a little section in IKEA. And then of course you're going to have the Toys R Us things because the kids need to play and they need to be stimulated and all that kind of stuff, I know there are all sorts of organic and, just wooden toys out there, but let's face it, the kids want a lot of what comes out of Toys R Us. So that's what it is. So lots of bright colors and primaries and things like that. So my 2 tips for you, Suzanne, is, sure, keep a few of the IKEAs, maybe, the Billy bookcase or whatever. And even the IKEA furnishings are pretty terrific, and the things that can be slip covered and they don't really scream IKEA. So some things are done there really well and really inexpensively. So you'll have to decide what that you have that can stay. But if you have IKEA things that just really look like IKEA, or, IKEA put together too quickly and doesn't look so great, let's get rid of those and just do some thrifting. Go to some thrift stores. Everybody's got some thrift stores around their houses. Go to some estate sales. Pick up some side tables. I am such a fan of these little side tables, and I have an orphanage for them, actually. If you lived closer to me, I would bring over a selection for you, and you could take whatever you wanted. But, you're not going to worry about a water stain or somebody dragging their little truck across it and making, rivets in the wood because you spent $10 on it or something like that. And hey, maybe you'll fall in love with the lines of some of that furniture. And after your kids get older, maybe you're going to want to refinish it or paint it. And you might keep these little pieces as you go along. But I think that you can furnish your home really beautifully and inexpensively with some really, sort of eagle eye thrifting and estate sale shopping. I would stay away from upholstered things and rugs and stuff like that, particularly with kids. You don't want kids crawling around on a rug. You don't know who else has been on it before. But for accent tables and even lamps or a dining table, a coffee table. And then some of the other things that you can do are shop on Amazon, shop on Overstock. If you need a coffee table or end tables, if you don't want to thrift them, maybe just stay away from the sharp edges. And I would stay away from glass because of the fingerprints. So maybe you want to do an oval or a round with a marble top. You can find things like that on Amazon for like $150. Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. And let them know your friends at DTT sent you. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months.
Yeah. You know what we do? We have babies again here at our house, and we just got a great big huge basket, and we use that as a coffee table because there's no sharp edges and we can put all their toys in it.
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah. Must be a big one though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a big one.
And then do you have a top on it or a tray or something for
a tray? Yes, it's just a small tray because those kids are in and out of it. And when they leave, I just, can decorate it nicely. And and we did it because I was so afraid somebody was going to fall and hurt themselves on the coffee table.
Right. And then, and I was going to mention, as far as the Toys R Us things, definitely baskets with lids. Then, and if you can try to make it into a fun thing or give them, hey, whoever gets all their toys picked up and put in their individual basket, and next time, gets a cookie or gets whatever granola bar or, gets a pat on the back or, whatever kids are getting these days for cleaning up.
A sticker,
stuff like that, and sort of make it fun. And you could have these nice baskets sort of, lined up. You could use those as little side tables as well, or storage ottomans are terrific. I was mentioning the ones that I bought at Overstock, and it's a really nice tufted bench and then 2 little storage ottomans. It came with them like little babies, like inside, like those Russian dolls you opened up and there were 2 more ottomans inside. Those would be great for all those little things. I don't know if you have who's boys and who's girls, but we had so many little Polly Pockets and Calico Critters and all their little outfits. And we had tiny, tiny little pieces. So like 8 gajillion Calico Critters or Polly Pockets would fit in one of the little ottomans. So think about things like that, softer edges, not too expensive, but I don't think you have to just go the IKEA route.
I agree.
I think you can do better, Suzanne.
And Suzanne, you don't have to have all your kids' toys out at once. And I found that with my kids and even my new grandbabies coming up, we just have a select amount and we rotate so they're always interested in their toys.
Yeah, that's a good habit to get into.
Great idea.
Okay, so Anita, jumping into something totally different. Chris J. She's listening to the episodes. She heard it at some point, Yvonne saying she got rid of a lot of her vintage/antique things. And then she heard you mention something about the value of antiques. So she really wants to dive a little deeper into that. What are the value of antiques these days? She really loves them. She loves shopping in places like Round Top and all of that, but she doesn't want to make a mistake financially by investing too much in antiques based on what she's hearing, not only on our show, but other places.
Right. Hi, Chris. I also love antiques and I love shopping at Round Top. And I'm calling it the IKEA effect. But yes, all furniture, I would say in general, prices are going down, especially, I shouldn't say especially, but also including in that our antique. The antique furniture market is down from what it was. I don't see this as a bad thing because for individuals reselling, you're not going to get a retail price anyway. You're probably going to get about the same amount now that you would have a few years ago, but maybe a little bit less. But the good news is if you're buying it, you're going to get a so much better deal. So, and I don't buy things worried about what they're going to resell for. So I'm buying it for me using it. So lower prices for me is a great thing. And I just wouldn't worry about what you're going to resell it for. You're probably not, or you're going to end up giving it away to somebody or maybe giving it to a thrift store. I mean, to get top dollar for your used furniture, you really have to sell it yourself. And like in your own store, because if you're selling on Craigslist or consigning it or selling it on Nextdoor, you're selling it at a wholesale price, and usually maybe even a little bit lower than that for any furniture. So I just wouldn't worry about the pricing. But again, it's all works out in the wash. I wouldn't worry about it. And there's definitely still very much a market for it. It's very hot in certain niches, but I'd say it's not as hot across the board as it used to be, but definitely there is definitely a lot of interest for antique furniture, and they do not make it like they used to. If you want something beautifully hand carved, you are almost have to buy vintage or antique. So, I would just say keep going for it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just love, if I fall in love with something, I mean, I know in my mind, like, what would I pay for something? And I guess, we see enough of it that we know what a good price is. So that would be my suggestion too, because it's, it sounds like you are an antique and vintage shopper. So the more you educate yourself on what's out there and what is a good price, and when you see the item, then you'll know, if particularly if you're buying it online, like, is that a good price? Let me figure in the shipping and all of that, so you can make an educated decision. But I agree with Anita. I think it's actually a great time to be buying antiques and vintage.
Yeah. And that's interesting. People ask me all the time, what should I pay for this? What should this price be? And the true answer is it really depends on the part of the country that you live in, because I know here in Texas, especially in Houston, antiques have always been a really wonderful bargain. So prices are always fantastic here, but I understand in other parts of the country, the prices are not as good, is not as low. So it really does depend on the going prices in your area. So if you want to know what is a good price to buy something for or sell it for, you need to look around in your area and see what things are selling for. And that's going to give you the best idea. But keep in mind, if a store is selling something for $800 and you want to consign it, you're going to probably get $400. Or if you're selling it on Craigslist, you'll probably get $400.
Okay, so now we're in the bedroom, and I have a question for Anita. Yes. And we can all ring in on this because I think it's going to be very creative. Now, let me see who it is. Let me turn the page here. Hadley. Hadley had a question about decorating her bedroom dresser. Now, it's a rather large piece of furniture, which we got some pictures of. So what do you guys, both of you, think about putting on a bedroom dresser? Let's start with Anita.
Well, Hadley, it's a beautiful dresser. Big windows in the room, some lovely contemporary chairs. It's a beautiful room. The dresser is really got some heft to it. It's a large size, which is good news because that means you've got plenty of room to work with. Sometimes I've got a small dresser and I'm thinking, there's only so much I can put on here. So I think the thing that I would really want to emphasize with this dresser, Hadley, is it's big, so you need big things on it. I would start with 2 bold size lamps that you love. Pick out something that you love. Get some color in it that you like or design. But I would definitely start with 2 lamps. And, the interesting thing is I always buy 2 lamps, even if I need just one, because when I move them around from one room to another, I usually end up using them as a set later on. So
great tip.
That is a good tip.
Yeah. So sometimes I use the same lamp in 2 different places.
Right. Because then you'd be kicking yourself. And how are you going to go back and find that other lamp?
I know. And sometimes I see one and I think, I just love this so much. I just have to have 2. And this dresser is big enough. You can easily handle 2, nice sized lamps. Then in the center, now she's got a beautiful tray on there now. But I would definitely go with a much larger tray in the center. I mean, the tray she has maybe looks around 15 inches long, and I would go as big as you could fit between the two lamps, maybe 28 inches. I can't really tell from the photo. And then I would put some very large items on there. She's got a beautiful orchid on there. I think I would put that on top of a couple of books to give it some height in that tray. And then maybe a big, and then a big demijohn bottle would be lovely. And I'm talking about, kind of a wide, those are wide bottles, maybe about 8 inches wide and 18 to 24 inches tall. And then, so a smaller item there to go, how we like to have 3 things.
Yeah, like a trinket box.
Right. A box would be perfect, or perhaps even a little pot with a moss ball in it or a boxwood ball in it. But a trinket box would be beautiful in there to
put like your rings or whatever at night.
Yeah. So I'm think big accessories, big tray, corral that stuff, and some set of 2 big lamps.
You did such a good job, Anita. That's exactly what I would have told her.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, exactly. And the only thing I might say is maybe get a lucite tray so it has less of a footprint, but it does corral, and maybe have it monogrammed, have your initials monogrammed in it.
We love monograms.
We do.
Okay, so now we're going to go to the kitchen, and Yvonne is going to help Sandy. And Sandy has a kitchen that she's renovating a lot of her home, but she is not going to completely remodel her kitchen, but she wants to freshen it up. Sandy is not going to part with her maple cabinets that have a ginger glaze or her current granite, because her mom gifted her this kitchen, or gifted her the funds for this kitchen, and really does not want to change it. But what she'd like to do is freshen it up, so we're not painting, and she's really tending towards sort of adding blue and white, and tends towards sort of a French country look. And I have to tell you that Sandy's email was just so beautiful, and she ends her email with saying that she loves listening to decorating tips and tricks, and that our giggles and laughter are infectious, and our witty banter is effervescent, like the bubbles from pink champagne.
Oh, Sandy, that that made my day. My day is just going to be wonderful.
I know. I feel I just copy and paste that, and like maybe get someone to do it in calligraphy for me and put it on the wall.
Yeah, thanks, Sandy.
A few more details, and a lot of you might have the similar type of kitchen with these colors. So listen up. So we've got maple cabinets with a ginger glaze, and we've got black granite counters and a travertine backsplash.
Oh, that sounds gorgeous. Actually, that sounds really lovely. And maybe Anita and I could share this one. Sandy, thank you so much for writing in, because Anita's a little more French than me. But I would definitely, blue and white would be wonderful in there. And blue and white is so crisp. It's an iconic color that goes in every room. And I don't know, maybe you want to start with maybe a new light fixture or so. If you have a light fixture over your sink, that might be a good place to start. And maybe something, if you have other lighting, just really check that out. Is it pretty? Does it give you the lighting that you need? But then you're just going to add blue and white accents. Maybe you want to find some beautiful blue and white ginger jars that you want with lids that you want to put in your kitchen, sort of lined up on that black countertop. That would be gorgeous, wouldn't it? And then I would say just get a small urn and put a moss ball in it, because that blue, black, white, and green, something living, look gorgeous together. Clear off your countertops, hide as many appliances as you can, and then maybe get a set of pretty blue and white mugs that you're going to put put near like your coffee maker, or your tea, or your tea maker if you have one. Make a little area for that. That's really pretty. But start collecting some blue and white pieces that go in the kitchen, and I think that's a nice way to spruce it up. And also, don't forget, we were talking about fabrics like blue and white curtains to maybe top off if you have a window, and get some coordinating fabrics for that. I'd keep it pretty simple. I wouldn't go too wild or flowery or whatever, because you want your beautiful kitchen to show forth. And also think about like the little details, like getting blue and white tea towels and dishcloths and things like that. It's always fun to pull something out that matches the rest of your kitchen.
I think that's great. I love those ideas. The only thing I think I can add to that, Yvonne, is that if you're not redoing the cabinets, then, and you want to add the blue and white, that there's a few ways you can add it in some big ways in the room. So if you wanted to put blue on the wall, that would be one option. You could paint your island blue. You could go with, and now Yvonne already mentioned, some blue and white curtains, I think are a great idea in there. You can also go with the blue and white rug. And my personal favorite, blue and white dishes on the wall.
Absolutely.
Oh,
That's beautiful.
And I would just add one thing. Think about your hardware. So your knobs or your pulls, they might be dated because this was done a little while ago.
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to rethink those,
but I wouldn't make those
spray
blue
paint
and white.
them. No, I wouldn't make those blue and white either.
Mm-hmm.
But you might want to do it in a different metal, depending what they are, or if they, if they're black ceramic or something like that. So we didn't talk about those in the email. So I don't know what those look like.
And how about those blue and white kind of chairs that look like they belong on the sidewalk in Paris?
Like a bistros.
Yes.
Yes.
Those? Oh,
yes.
They're just gorgeous. Oh, if you've got a table in there or an island, oh my goodness, I would get some of those.
That's a good call.
And you could even
just
spray
one in a corner.
paint them. Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's an awesome idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have a rather big question, which we might, be able to get to, and then we might want to supplement yet again with an email back to Mary Beth. So Mary Beth is the mom of a young lady who's going to be getting married in September, and her daughter is, of course, in the UK and will be returning like an hour and a half before the wedding or something. So of course, Mary Beth's job is to come up with these, beautiful centerpieces and cake and gift table for a wedding with like 200 and some odd people. So the look that her daughter is wanting. Now, of course, the daughter has, instructions, although she's not going to be here.
Been there, done that.
Right. So and a budget is a concern. So the centerpieces are to incorporate old metals, cut glass, succulents, white flowers, and her accent color is navy. The bridesmaids' dresses will be navy. And they have already purchased burlap runners for the tables. And there's going to be white tablecloths to the ground. And Mary Beth has been running around all over trying to find various pieces of old metals, cut glass, and succulents and all of this at good prices. And she's thinking every one of the centerpieces is probably going to be slightly different. But do you guys have any ideas of ways that she could incorporate these items and make her daughter so happy when she gets back, when she gets married?
The ideas are spinning in my head. First of all, congratulations, mother of the bride, and to the beautiful bride in the UK as well. One good thing, white, navy, and burlap look beautiful together. So I'd really just continue that theme. Like you're saying, you're going to do burlap table runners. And what you're saying, old metal, what I'm hoping that you mean is like maybe old silver plate pitchers and creamers and sugar bowls, or just like pieces of some kind of kitchenware. So let's just
it could be galvanized too. So
yeah, it could. Yeah, let's go with
pails
that.
And things like that.
Yeah, let's go with that. I love the idea of using succulents, and they can be done very, very easily and well. I start with the center of the table and get something large, and that's going to be the centerpiece. Let's say you have a small galvanized bucket. Let's just use that. Why don't you just cut some burlap and make a band for it? So it's not all that galvanized. So you've got a little break up there. So you've got a pail with a nice galvanized band around it. And we'll start with that. And then you can just fill that with beautiful white flowers. And then let's say that you have a silver creamer, small silver creamer. Fill sphagnum moss in that and put a big succulent on top of that. And then you can use your cut crystal. And if it's something that you can even tip over, which looks so pretty, you can put a little succulent peeking like out
it's
of
spilling
that.
out.
Like it's spilling out.
Charming.
And do that in maybe grouping that around the table. So wherever somebody sits, they get a view of something.
Yeah, I like that.
And then here's another thing that, not to make it more expensive for you, but I've seen this done. And you can pick up these for a song, like old brooches, like old brooches that have fake diamonds in them. You can get them and tuck them, like maybe pin that onto the bucket. And
so cute. Or tuck it in with the succulent, like stuck it in the moss.
Succulent and old brooches look gorgeous together. But I just think it would look so pretty on a pail with a banding of burlap. And even you may want to fringe each end with a beautiful brooch on it with flowers. And then right beside that, and, like some kind of little pot or some kind of old metal piece or even a cut crystal, again, with a nice size succulent coming out of it.
Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. We're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health, potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT. Nice.
That sounds wonderful.
I was
Good job,
thinking
Yvonne.
for Mary Beth, just to simplify it for you, because also I didn't mention, but they're going to have to set this up sort of in between the ceremony and then the people coming and then moving.
Whoa.
So there's going to be a lot going on that day.
Get
So this
10
woman
of
is
your
not
best
going to
friends.
relax until her daughter is on her honeymoon.
Get
So-
10 of your best friends to help you do this. Don't do it by yourself.
Exactly. So I was thinking if you had it sort of set up where it could all be assembled and then put on the table. So I would start with the base, either a very inexpensive round silver tray. Now you can really get those for a song. And I know Mary Beth seems like a good hunter and gatherer. So she's probably going to be able to find these. And, they're definitely going to be tarnished. So then you've got your old metals or a wood slice, which I know you can buy on Amazon, and that can be your base. And then each thing that you find, okay, so we have a cut glass cup. And then we have some succulent in a little tarnished creamer. And then you have something taller, even if it's like a mason jar with some white roses in it, or, it's mixed in with maybe some thistle or something to get the blue going. And each one could be a little different, but each centerpiece is going to have a round for the bottom. It's some sort of tray or the wood slice. And then it's going to have 3 elements in different heights. And just like Yvonne was saying, that way, when the people are sitting around the table, everybody's getting a view of something.
Look at something. And can I just add this?
Yeah.
I really think what you should do is almost like have a centerpiece in a box. Like however many tables you have a box, have everything in there, and just hand it off to somebody.
Right.
And then all you have to do is go around and fluff it. Don't you do that work. Have your friends do it, because that's what friends are for. I wouldn't, if
we could come if we were invited.
That's right. We'd be doing out.
And we could do the whole thing. But just hand it off to your friends. And all you have to do is go around and fluff each table.
Yeah. And part of the fluffing might be, think about this. I just did, I do the flowers with a local florist for a big charity event every year. And this year we incorporated fairy lights because we were trying to we didn't want to use the pin lights from the hotel because it's very expensive to have them do the lighting. So I said, how about fairy lights? And we got strings of those fairy lights, and then you just get some batteries.
The copper wired
Yes,
ones?
but you don't even see the wire. The way we worked it into the centerpieces, and Mary Beth might be able to do that, work it in with her 3 elements so you don't see it. And then you hide the little battery pack. And then when she's fluffing, the last thing, she goes around and turns them all on. And it really obviously depends on the venue. If it's super sunny, you're not going to bother with that.
Yeah. Fairy lights in cut glass. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I know. So great. So Mary Beth, let us know, keep me posted on what you're finding, and we can always add in some additional ideas. We could keep talking and talking and talking.
We haven't gotten to all my questions.
I know, we haven't. So maybe we'll just do one more little thing, and then I'm going to have us do our listener tip of the day. Okay. And then if whatever we have left over, we'll just have to do another one of these soon.
All right, Lily, maybe next time.
Oh no, let's do Lily. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We promised Lily because she was hanging over from last time.
Oh yeah,
so
you have
Lily
to
with
her.
all the windows. Let's do Lily. Okay. Go ahead, Yvonne. So Lily's got 26 windows. Ooh. She sent us in her home. She sent us photos, and here's her challenge. Her husband has allergies, and so she cannot use a lot of fabric.
Well, Lily, first of all, congratulations on your beautiful new home. And the pictures you sent look lovely. And you do have a lot of beautiful windows. The one thing the one thing I would say to really finish these windows is to add trim to them. Excuse me. That I think each window could use some trim. And the heavier you can put trim all the way around it, excuse me, the nicer they're going to look. And I would just start with your downstairs living spaces first, where you're all day. And then I would go from there, but that's where I would start. And that's going to make a huge difference on how your windows look. And you do not need to put fabric on windows to make them look dressed up. And I know our favorite way to do that here at Decorating I always say that tips and tricks is to use like those beautiful bamboo blinds, like they're colored like tortoise shell, and your colors would so lend to that. I see that you use blues and you have a pop of gold, like a yellowy gold, which is really in right now. And I think that if you would just put those blinds on the windows, they're roller, they're a roller blind, and or they can be like the Roman shade type, that I think that would make a huge difference and really dress up those windows, make them look real updated. Mm-hmm. And if you're worried about people seeing in at night, you can even get them in blackout now, which I think was so smart.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're talking about a wooden trim, like molding trim all over.
Yeah, I would get painted wooden molded trim, because she doesn't seem to have any around her windows. And I'd even put like a little bit of extra at the top, like a header, because it would make your windows actually appear taller. Yeah.
And you could even, I was thinking with those shades, you could even make a cornice out of some of that.
You can.
Right?
It
and
just
trim it all
depends your
like
look.
really chunky.
But here's what I'm going to say. You don't want to hide those beautiful windows. I'm with you. I have like 50 windows in my house, so I know it's a tough one. And here's what I would say. You've got that beautiful, beautiful patio window. I would either take down your curtains there because it looks like you have white or sheer and then you have blue over it. And I would just choose one or the other because if your husband has allergies, that's a lot of fabric on those windows. And I would just choose maybe, and they're pulled back with ties. I would just choose to put them on either side hanging down. And it looks like you can probably go with your curtain rod. I would go a little higher and a little further out on each side of the wall, just to frame the doors. And again, if you need privacy at night, you can get some roll down windows for there. And that way it wouldn't be as much fabric for you.
Okay, great. And then we'll slide into the tip of the day.
Can I just mention one thing real fast before we get into that I was recently on a fabulous podcast called Heidi Rue. I'm going to include a link in the show notes to my episode. But if you want to hear my personal story of reinvention and how when I first started my blog, nobody read it, not even my mother, then you're going to might want to check out that episode, but I'll include a link. It was a delight to talk to her.
Anita, I am so proud of you. I listened to it. It was a wonderful podcast. You knocked it out of the park, and it's really worth listening to hear Anita's story.
Yeah. Hear what Anita thinks about zebras. You should listen to it. It's really good. So our listener tip of the day today, I'm sorry, you've all been like, okay, is it? What is it? Is it going to be me? I keep alluding to it. Now I'm getting to it. So the listener tip of the day today is from Lisa S. And Lisa is giving us a tip on children's artwork. And so, Suzanne might want to listen up, or any of the moms or grandmas out there. So Lisa tells us that you can go to a company called Artkive. So that's ARTKIVE. And you would upload pictures of your children's artwork, and they then will put it all together into a beautiful hardcover book for you. So say goodbye to the bins, and you have all your children's beautiful artwork all preserved in a hardcover book. I think that's a great tip because a lot of people ask what to do about children's artwork. So thank you so much, Lisa. That was a great tip. Thanks for being with us today. Listener questions, we get so carried away. We've been talking for almost 45 minutes. Remember, we're here to inspire you to create a beautiful home and inspire you to send us lots and lots of questions. Until next time. Hey, everybody. We want to thank you so much for listening to Decorating Tips and Tricks. And we want to make it even easier for you to listen. And it's easier if you subscribe. You just click the subscribe button on our website, www.decoratingtipsandtricks.com, or you can subscribe through Apple Podcast or any of your favorite podcast listeners. When you subscribe, DTT comes free right to you 3 days a week. So until next time.